There is a great correlation in all areas of literacy. Without writing, we would not have anything to read. If we were not able to read, then there would be no reason to write, because the meaning of the words or the message would never be conveyed. For this reason, it is very important to both read and write fluently and with expression of self. There are several ways to assess writing for people of all ages, but when working with students, it is important to focus on skills that are relative to them and that they are able to fully comprehend. For this reason, we are going to look at two different assessments that help us assess students' written work, as well as identify their developmental level in writing and to help see areas of weakness and specific deficiencies they have when writing. The two assessments are the DSA, or Developmental Spelling Assessment, and the 6 Traits of Writing rubric. The DSA assesses students' spelling abilities. Upon analysis of this assessment, you will have an idea of what level the student is in his or her spelling ability and will have an idea of specific areas that need to be addressed in the student's writing. The 6 Traits of Writing rubric looks at 6 essential areas of writing. The students are assigned points according to the criteria they meet as outlined in each section of the rubric. These two assessments have a lot of correlations. Both assessments focus on the writing process, mechanics, and conventions. The DSA focuses on the sounds and the spelling aspect of written words. This ties directly into the writing rubric because spelling is a form of writing convention. The student's spelling ability will also affect their word choice, which is a focus of the writing rubric. Sounding out and writing and spelling unknown words is part of the writing process. Also, without the ability to spell, whether correctly or phonetically, the students will not be able to convey their message in their written work, and this will tie the idea and content section of the writing rubric as well as the sentence fluency section. This connects to the sentence fluency section because if the work cannot be read, the sentences will not be fluently written. We are now going to look at two different writing assessments.
The 6 Traits Writing Rubric. In order to assess a student's writing, a teacher may wish to utilize a writing rubric. A 6 Traits rubric was developed by teachers from Marydale Elementary in Mobile, Alabama. It can be downloaded from their website at www.middleweb.com. The rubric contains 6 traits of writing, which include the following: ideas and content, word choice, conventions, organization, voice, and sentence fluency. Each of these categories is further subdivided on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest rating and 5 the highest. For example, a piece of writing rated a 1 in ideas and content might be a piece in which the student is just beginning to figure out what he or she wants to say. A 5 piece of writing is focused, clear, and specific. It keeps the reader's attention. A piece of student writing could receive an assessment rating of anywhere from 0 to 30 points using this rubric. Areas of strength and weakness are soon apparent after assessing each of the 6 writing traits. After rating a piece of writing, a teacher can make informed decisions on how to proceed with instruction. Many lessons and guided practice sessions can be designed to aid students in improving areas of weakness. Let's look at a writing sample of an upcoming 3rd grade student. First, we will assess the trait of ideas and content. Listen carefully to this personal narrative. Now, let's look at which rating we would give this student for ideas and content. Using the rubric, we gave this student a rating of 3 because the details are general and the child seemed to be thinking aloud on paper. Next, let's look at word choice. This student received a 1 because his words were simply put and there weren't many details. The student's words do not paint pictures for the reader yet. On the next trait, conventions, this student received a 1 due to common spelling errors even with simple words. In the area of organization, this paper exhibited a ho-hum conclusion and lacked details. The writer's voice was almost completely missing. For example, the student said nothing about his or her feelings after being pushed down. The writing did more telling than showing, which is why he received a 1. Although this story had some interesting sentences, it rated a 3 in sentence fluency because the words showed little variety and the writing was generally functional and routine. Finally, a teacher can rate the student by adding up the subtotals of each trait to arrive at a final score. This student rated a 12 out of 30 overall. Stronger areas in this student's writing are ideas and content, organization, and sentence fluency. Weaker areas are word choice, conventions, and voice. The weaker areas will need further teaching using mini lessons, scaffolding, and guided practice. Developmental spelling analysis. The developmental spelling analysis by Kathy Gansky in her book Word Journeys is a tool which helps teachers see strengths and weaknesses in a student's writing conventions as they pertain to spelling. The spelling errors that children make can give insight to their stage of writing development. Lessons can then be designed to address the weaker aspects of a child's spelling knowledge. The DSA is divided into 4 stages of developmental knowledge. The first is letter naming. In this stage, students are beginning to figure out beginning and ending consonants, initial and final blends and digraphs, affricates such as TR and DR, and short vowel words. The second stage is called within word. Long vowels with silent E, R-controlled vowels, and complex consonants characterize this developmental stage. The third stage is called syllable juncture. Doubling the final consonant and dropping the E, R-controlled vowels, and stressed and unstressed syllables are found in this stage. The fourth stage, known as derivational constancy, focuses on silent and sounded consonants, vowel and consonant changes, and Latin-derived suffixes and prefixes. To begin the DSA, a student is asked to write a list of 20 words dictated by the teacher in groups of 5. The student continues to write words until the student spells one or none of the words in the group correctly. Depending upon how many words the student misses, the teacher can compare the screening inventory score on the predicted stage chart. This allows the teacher to know which stage to begin with in administering the feature inventory list. For example, if a child scores a 4, the student is in the letter name stage. Once the stage is determined, a student is given a feature inventory of 25 words in the appropriate stage. Analyzing this second list will indicate what strengths the student has and the weaknesses which need to be addressed in the student's spelling knowledge. Let's look at this example to see how this student scored overall to determine whether or not the student is able to continue working within this stage of development. This student was able to spell 15 of the 25 words correctly. This means the student would be in the instructional stage of development in the letter name stage. This student's individual scores are separated into the individual features present in the words that he was asked to spell. This allows teachers to identify which features are strengths and which are weaknesses. The process in identifying the student's feature scores by a point system are as follows. A 2 means the entire word is correctly spelled. 1 means the targeted feature is correct, the entire word is not. A 0 indicates that the targeted feature is incorrect and the word is spelled incorrectly. The teacher will use the answer cards that identify the targeted feature in each of the 25 words to identify the strengths and weaknesses. For this example, the student received a 5 under A, initial and final consonants, a 5 under B, initial consonant blends and digraphs, a 4 under C, short vowels, a 4 under affricates, and a 5 under E, final consonant blends and digraphs. The student has a grasp of the various features, but has difficulty spelling the entire word correctly. Given this information, Future lesson plans might include work with affricates,